So let's start with the name. So a civil society perspective, we heard about the code of practice from a few people already at this conference. I think I want to basically lead with the same message that, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, um, these like technical solutions that are being talked about at conference such as this were not like ready to be put in policy, and this is different now. It's policy ready. And I think I want to repeat the message by the AI office, Mathieu Delacruz, Simon Müller, and also Stephen Casper this morning, to say that really like a massive thing that technical researchers can do is to find out where their solutions will fit into policy. So that's what I'm talking about. So firstly, just like civil society's role in these things, what was our input in the code of practice? What did the finalization look like? And is there a bit of a Brussels effect? And also next steps, code of practice enforcement, and things like the advisory forum and the scientific panel. So to start, this is basically what the code of practice drafting process looked like. And the point is that it was really multi-stakeholder. So this is not something that happens everywhere, but in the EU, there's this culture of like informing and having all stakeholders really be a part of it. So civil society was involved in this, model providers, downstream businesses, academics, independent researchers, probably a bunch of people in this room. So this was a really good thing. In terms of our input, it came on kind of like different levels. So this is kind of like the mid-level, which is a policy paper that was centered around serious incident reporting, and it collected a lot of expertise from the field. So from scholars like Heather Phrase, Sean McGregor, these people that work a lot on serious incidents. So it's our job to collect this and put this in more political language. We also did some technical research ourselves, so I'll put that there on evaluations. And then the sort of highest level is sort of these more political pushes when that's necessary. So this is, for example, a letter addressed to the president of the European Commission when that is necessary. So that's also something that a more civil society org can do that maybe like a technical researcher is not as well best placed to do. So that's going a bit into our role. So on the finalization, I want to talk a little bit about public transparency, which is a thing in the code of practice that was almost not in the code of practice. This is basically what people will see that are not the model provider or the regulator. So basically everybody else. This is something that also required a bit of a high-level political push to make happen. But in the end, the result was pretty good. Basically, every provider signed on to the code of practice as a method of complying with the AI Act. So this was a good result. I just want to put the language of 10.2 here on public transparency, because this is kind of going to be relevant to a lot of people working in this space. This is good on the surface, but I want to show you a bunch of caveats that make this very difficult. Public transparency, if and insofar as necessary, a summarized version of framework and model reports with removals to not undermine the effectiveness, high-level descriptions, and not necessary if all of the signatories' models are similarly safe. And finally, not necessary if the model is similarly safe. So basically, there's a lot of legal caveats here to say why there shouldn't be public transparency. And it's going to be a lot on this community, I think, to basically like leverage that as much as possible to show why public transparency is necessary and doesn't necessarily undermine the things that are suggested in this paragraph. So that's just something that we can think about working on. Finally, I want to draw on the work of Laura Caroli, who's a scholar working on kind of looking at the frontier governance around the world. She also worked on the AI Act in the EU, and she's kind of shown that there is a bit of a convergence happening. So there are state legislations in New York and California, and as Stephen Casper mentioned, increasingly in places like Minnesota and Illinois, that are basically converging to some sort of framework for frontier governance. And this is really good. But this also means that we're pretty far down the road in policy. So it's really time for the technical input to kind of be policy ready and step in. And as I mentioned, that's kind of the point I want to bring across today. Finally, maybe, with 40 seconds left, I'll just close to say, this was quite a while ago that the EU Commission was looking for scientific experts for the scientific panel. This first round of this has closed, but this will reopen like very frequently. So I just want to say again, there is not just this sort of informal mechanism of, let me send my technical solution to a institution such as the AI office. There are formalized mechanisms by which this works. And the scientific panel is one, and it will be open for people to join frequently. So some things about it, it's compensated with 2-year renewable terms, so it will open again soon. There's a minimal time commitment, so it's basically like as much time or as little time as you want to give to it. There's an independence requirement, so you can't be, at a company. 20% of positions are for non-EU citizens. So even if you're not from the EU, this is possible. You must have PhD or equivalent experience. There's also an advisory forum, which is if you're not a scientist and you're maybe more of a socio-technical, social science researcher or something like this. So yeah, that's all. That's time. So thanks a lot for listening.